Saturday, the 31st of January, 2026. Normally, this would be the Minecraft session for my Minecraft program. And I see that a lot of people, it was wonderful seeing Luke's in here, and there are a bunch of people from the Minecraft, Lee, and other people in here. But today I decided it's the first one that I've done this year. Originally, I was going to do it a couple of weeks ago, and then I've been traveling in and out. I was in Hong Kong and then down south of Thailand, and so we're back now. And if you are not part of Minecraft, I hope by the end of this session you will. But today is not just it's not some fluff thing just to get you in. I'm really buzzed because I got back from Taiwan in November and I did a soft launch on what I'd built out. And I'll just say all of these tools and everything we use today, totally free. Okay, so you can jump in, use them all. I built these and I hopefully will keep these tools free forever. Now, the courses and things, whether they're mine or later on other creators, other learners, other teachers, you pay for the courses and stuff, but I want to make the tools free. So you can use them. And I want these to be the best tools in class for language learning to set the standard for part of my language, shitty dopamine hit apps like Duolingo, who really don't get Asian languages. I want to raise the bar for what's out there for language learning stuff. But today, new year, new me, and I think it was last week or the week before, I spoke in a global language event called New Year, New Language or something. It was put on by a lovely guy in Sweden. It was the second time I've done it. And lots of people come in, and some of the big language names from all over the place were speakers there as well. But I thought this would be a good opportunity here in Thailand, especially because I'm launching this off, and I want people to, if you've hit a rut, if you've plateaued, if you've thought you're going to start and then didn't really get momentum, or if you don't know why Thais are still not understanding you, or you think you're actually fluent, but you're not where you want to be. Not just in Thai, but in whatever language. What I did was prepare today a flow of what to go through, but I also want to do some like practical stuff. We might do some coaching in here and show how this actually works and show how you can work either with yourself or you can work with a coach, a mentor, teachers to get this stuff done. We are in an amazing place now with AI and education. If you haven't seen what I've built out in the past year, if I died today, touch wood, but if I did die today, I would be happy that I built what I built. I built what I believe should be the future of education. It is not expensive. Big tech doesn't gobble the market up, and education is put back in the hands of the people learning and even educators. It doesn't rule out the role of teachers or mentors. Um, but at the same time, you're not locking yourself just into big tech, where you drive your education. So I'll show you how to use that. And like I said, even now, it's almost totally free. Um, And as we go through stuff, if I'm using any of this, just remember the entire now, and I'll give you a comparison when AI and what you actually need for learning. I used to run a tech company, and now I work with a tech company, and we get sponsored by Gemini, we get sponsored by Anthropic, and they throw tens of thousands of dollars of credits at us for AI. Every month we use them to the point now that our company has opened up Claude code accounts, which are valued about $100 each for the per month for the starter accounts, even to our UI UX teams. But when you look at it, it tells you how many tokens you're eating up. Every time you do something, sometimes it totally redoes your code base, your entire code base. And that means that we're literally using thousands and thousands of dollars of AI tokens every month, and they're getting us addicted. Is it cool? Yeah, stuff I can do with them is phenomenal. The way I built my stuff here, however, I know every single function. I spent a year building functions out, building everything out. So all my stuff, like you see these tone graphs and everything, the code does the heavy lifting and it's accurate, more accurate. My AI bill for the actual lessons and testing and everything for the whole year was $5.47
Yeah, I remember you saying
in
that.
tokens. And you learning it, if you supply your own keys right now, it'll probably be around the same. You're lucky to get to $1 a month of actual tokens using the AI. Um, so I'll just plant that with you now. So come, really come in and use it. And I'll hopefully be fixing the UI UX up in the coming weeks to make it more user friendly. I've kept it sort of buffered a bit while it's still in beta and everything, but it'll be coming more fluffy and nice. Um, but just remember that. But this isn't about AI today. It's about just learning in general. So today's today's session is about breaking bad habits and building good habits for learning languages. And so I don't want to just talk about motivation. You have to be, motivated to learn a language. Everybody knows that. I want to remove friction points for learning and for everybody to use what we've got now, not just my stuff, but just in general, in this point of time in technology and everything, to build the most effective system. And so identifying those blocks and seeing how we get through it. So, good analogy to start with. Um, People may know even from the past. You've probably seen the video if I put it up the other day, but about 15 years ago, I got heavy. And for the first time ever, I thought, and I used to be a gymnast, I used to be a martial artist. I was fit, I could tumble, and all was good. Now, I had some accidents which ruined my spine and stuff. Back then, I still hadn't had spinal surgery yet. But I knew I had to lose weight. And at that time, the Duken program was all the rage. I don't know if you knew it, but it took all the bad stuff that they thought out of the Atkins stuff and also made it a four-phase thing so you could make it a lifetime thing and you could reintroduce carbs, but still have your body not go crazy with the insulin stuff going up and everything. So for me, I was never ever hungry. I was eating lots of protein, good veg, and everything. I was never hungry. And I lost 24 kilos in about 9 weeks. Um, and it's like, holy crap, everything I'd ever learned about nutrition was flipped on its head. And it worked. Like, it's like, look at what was happening. And I kept that off for about 5 years. And I'm sorry for people, but there's a point to this in relation to language. And so I kept it off for about 5 years and things were good. And then lifestyle coming, for me, I realized that I really severely react to breads and these things, and I just blow up. And you can, if you put a time lapse camera over a few weeks, you'd see me just go up. And then we moved into a place, and there was a wonderful Israeli baker across the road from us in Soy 16. And we're eating good breads and all of this. And my wife's in the hospitality business. She's got a hotelier magazine and everything we would be eating in hotels and everything. And again, over the years, it grew up again. I thought, this is not good. And so I knocked it down a bit again. Then I had my daughter. She was born about what, 5, 6 years ago. I've had two spinal surgeries. I've got 6 titanium bolts here, so I couldn't work out normally. I can't hold weights unevenly and everything. And then also coding all my stuff, sitting, I would be waking up at 2 in the morning, sitting, coding, building these bad habits, eating at really bad times. Okay, I can have some bread. Oh, 7-Eleven. Okay, I'll go get in ham cheese. Um, and again, my wife, she is still in hospitality, but also works for a company, Pernod Ricard, that supplies cognac, Martell cognacs. And we're talking about the good stuff. She travels to Cognac and to all of the whiskey houses in Scotland, and we get really good stuff. And so I noticed, so I got to Hong Kong over Christmas. We took our daughter to Disneyland. We saw her clients over there. They have whiskey stuff and everything. I got back Boxing Day. I weighed myself, and I was the heaviest I've ever been. 96.8 kilos. almost let's say 97 kilos. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I knew what I should be eating. I knew how to lose weight. I know how my body reacts, but I made the choices and I made it. And God, I enjoyed those cognacs and the breads and the food and everything. But there were consequences. And those consequences weren't just, they're for my health, but they're also my family. The image of our family when we're out now, my wife's out there in front and this big fat oaf sitting behind her is not a good look. But it's also health as well. And thankfully in Thailand, just as they will tell you, once you get past the พูดไทยชัดมาก you speak Thai so well. Once you get past that initial thing, they'll tell you how bad your Thai is. They'll also tell you how fat you are. อ้วนขึ้นหรือเปล่า there's this one bar in out near where we live, and my mother-in-law, she's always out with them, and she's an old Chinese lady, but every time she sees me, and she'll just grab my stomach and say, อ้วนขึ้นอ้วนมากนะ said, you're so fat. I said, she's my barometer. So anyway, I made the decision on the 26th of December. This is it. And so so what I did, I thought, screw this. I know how I learn and I need commitment as well. So I will make it public as well. And so let me just share my screen with you. Share, and I will pull this up here and I'll put this screen up here, share. And so you guys can all jump in here if you want. I think it's at Stu's, there it is, Stu's body transformation. And so what I do is every day I do a weigh-in, and you can open this up and get access to it. Is the internet working? Stu's body transformation. There we go. Now again, I built this tool. Now there's going to be links into language. There you go. So let me zoom in. I started on the 26th of December at 96.8. Today I think I'm 87.9. I haven't done my way into it. So I've dropped what, 9 kilos, 8 kilos, 8.5 kilos in 5 weeks. Yeah. I'm a little bit behind. I'm dropping almost 300 grams a day. If you want pounds, I put this up here. You can do pounds. So 194. So that's, and I plan by the end of March, I want to be at around 72 kilos. And this is the trajectory. This is the green ones are how much I lose each day.
You built all this?
Yeah, I built this. How much I lose each day. And this is keeping me focused. Now, I may be psychotic in wanting to track and use data and everything. You know how long it took to build this out? Now, about 10 minutes. I built the sheet out in Google Sheets, and then I explained to Gemini my Google Sheet. It had access to it, and I said, I don't want to give the public access to my Google Sheet. Let's build a beautiful dashboard. I explained what kind of style I wanted. I gave it the style sheet from my website. Bang, look at that. All right. Now this is just again, this is just for weight loss and for me and my getting healthy thing. And I also have Dermaster sponsoring. So I've actually got a when Dermaster, they're a client of my wife's. They're these like aesthetic hospitals and they do all of this stuff. But they came and said, we'll sponsor you. And so they might even be doing things like bring the hairline forward and stuff. Who knows? But if you get something out of it, great. But for me, getting the health back and everything. But the parallels in this, let's have a look. Insulin spikes. I don't know. So things that I learned about insulin spikes are right now, I feel satiated. Yesterday, I went 48 hours without having any food. I didn't feel hungry at all. I really don't want food. I have to eat food, but I'm just feeling full. If I had sugar, I get this spike and I'll get hungry. And I want to go out for more. Now, I have to keep healthy at the same time. I can't just starve my body. And so I need to make sure that's there. That's, to me, is the equivalent of using Duolingo. If you're using Duolingo and you're going through and you're getting your daily, what do they call them? Their daily, whatever their runs are. But they've got the thing, and you're doing these activities, and it's going ding 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 ding, and you're getting these hits. That's just like insulin. It's training your body to do that, and you need, where's the next hit? Where's the next hit? Are you learning the language? Now, I was in Taiwan at the polyglot gathering, and there were these guys there's this one guy in particular. He loves Duolingo. Good on it. Maybe for European language. And he said, no, he swears by it. Yeah, maybe for Romance languages, you can get stuff, but still, it doesn't teach you a real articulation. It doesn't teach you to build these things in or give real proper feedback because you don't know what you're giving feedback for, and all of these things. And so, for me, these dopamine hits of gamification of language learning by people who don't have real language learning in their interest, rather, they need the dopamine hits to get people to keep their subscriptions up. This is, I think, a bad habit for language learning. For me, yeah, the Hunger Loop are gamified apps. And I'll show you soon, what I actually do because I'm currently learning a few languages, new languages that I hadn't studied before, and I can show you what I'm doing. Wrong input, the wrong input, eating breads, eating sugars. Oh shit, I'll go and have my ham cheese sandwich. That is going just mindlessly looking at vocab lists without putting them into context. That is going and listening to somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about tell you how something works. Sometimes it's asking a teacher, and last night we had an event and there were a bunch of Thai teachers there. I would say there's a handful of teachers I would say are worth their salt here in Thailand. But other than that, many of them are just native speakers that think they can make a buck.
Yeah.
Or there's some hot girl that thinks, I get good Instagram following or whatever, and they're not teaching. Now, I can tell you, teacher Kusara, and there are a few teachers where I have groups and they'll be shooting questions or asking, but they actually check linguistically, is this right? Why is this? Because a native speaker, you don't know. You just speak it. And many English speakers don't know. And so, but she makes sure that she's linguistically on point. And she'll do that. Bingo is another one. He's awesome and he's linguistically on point because he speaks a bunch of languages as well. If you've seen that Reading Thai in 10 days, I think he's got his book out there. Bingo is worth his salt.
So you comment on posts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they're all there last night. And there's a few others. But other than that, many teachers, and I'm not just saying for Thai, and I don't want to be seen as hacking out on Thais. Apologies, by the way, for my camera. My USB hub died, so I'm using the internal camera. Yeah, so other Chinese as well. And they'll teach you how they think they should be teaching you. So again, the input, eating those bread rolls, beautiful baguettes with, luckily I can eat the butter. I still lose weight. But eating the baguettes is getting this bad information. It might taste great. They might be cheering you on, but yeah, you pay for it, and you pay for it in bad habits and having to unlearn. Another one is my feeling, and there are two sides of this, satiety. So I feel satiated 100% right now. Have you ever done something where you're in such deep flow that 12 hours have just gone past like that? And I feel like that when I'm sitting coding or doing something. That's how I feel when I'm really learning language. I'll give you an example. My wife works for a French company. We have a lot of French friends. I speak Spanish. One of my first languages I learned early on was Italian. That gave way to Spanish later on. But for French, I wasn't allowed to learn French at school. The French teacher hated me, wouldn't let me learn. And so, okay. So I think deep down, I've had just this block with French. I thought, screw that, I'm going to get in my French. So a couple of months ago, I started. I've been listening to 10 to 15 hours of French every day. I open podcasts. I go in. I've met some native French speakers that can come in. Sometimes I'll wake up at 2 in the morning and there are these things of 1.5 hours of just constant French repetition drills. I put my earphone in, I have it on the lowest volume, and I just sit and listen. Because I speak Spanish, Italian, I'm putting the patterns together as I'm in this amazing state of mind, because it's sort of like half dream, but I'm still putting the patterns. Oh, that's the root of this word. That's why, oh, they've used a subjunctive like this. And I can do this because I have a framework as well. And it's been amazing. Now, I haven't been speaking French a lot, but the structures, I can sit and listen to a podcast now and I'm just getting 80, 90% of it in French. Now, I need to put myself in to use the language, but people think, oh, you're just gifted. And I go, no, I put in the freaking hours. And I think everyone I know who actually gets up there, they put in the hours. The difference is, it's when you're in this flow, it's like I'm feeling satiated. You don't realize. I didn't realize I haven't had food. And the days right now for me, I get so much done because I'm not breaking to have meals and all of this and that. You just feel, you don't even realize it's gone by. And that's what it's like with the language as well. So when you're really, really getting into it and learning or building tools like this, so you see this, but when I'm building my tools for, say, the site and everything, the act of building the tool and pulling the language apart in order to build it. Now, like I said, I don't just let AI loose on it. I will actually plan it and it builds with me. I control the building. That is a learning experience. And so all of this is part of it. So you don't fix the outcomes. Fixing outcomes is difficult. You fix the inputs. Okay. So I'll do a bit of talking first, but we'll get into stuff after. Hey, Anthony, good to see you. I just saw you down there. I missed you last night. Um, Now, another thing I'll give you an example. Another bad habit is complacency. Can I just see how many people here live in the country of the language that you're currently learning? Okay. Now, there are two traps. Number one trap is you've done or whatever, but you have just given up to the fact that you're not going to learn the language and you stay in your bubble. You're comfortable, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're a CEO of a company, you're on an expat package. It's not your job to learn the language. You don't have the time to invest in it, so you don't. Okay, fair enough. And that's fair enough. The other thing is though, and hopefully this applies and it can resonate with people here. If you have hit a level where you think you get by, and this is the problem with a lot of polyglot. I hate the word polyglot, by the way. I know Luke and over there, but polyglot, especially nowadays, has such a stigma attached to it, of fluffy language learners with no depth. And there's a whole industry starting on YouTube now of actually tearing polyglots apart. Um, and fair enough for people who go out there and bullshit. But there are the real deal, like people like Richard and Luca and some people who are the real deal out there. And Luke, of course. Um, there are the real deals out there, and polyglot takes away actually the how good these people are. But people who are dedicated and really learn languages to high levels know what they can't do, and they don't feel okay with the level that they're at if it's not that level. And I'll give you an example here in Thailand. People sometimes don't realize what fluency actually is. They think because they can jump in a taxi and they can speak to the mea selling kway teow on the side of the road or go and buy their stuff, or they can have a conversation, low level conversation with someone. Oh, I speak quite fluently. Can you talk about what's going on politically in the country right now? Can you sit and give nuance to explain why somebody may be feeling the way they are or why you're feeling the way they are and get into a deep conversation where you can have a heart to heart with somebody. If you can't, you're not fluent. And so you may sound fluent on the surface with what you use day in, day out for maybe the past 15, 20 years. And you've mastered these few sentences or this, but you're not fluent. And some people, for if that's functional language for you, great, and you can use that. I met one guy once, and he only learned a few sentences in Chinese. 你好，yeah, 对啊，我是北京人，我是北京人，我是北京人. And he learned it so well. Somebody asked him, he'd say a couple of words, and he said, 我是北京人. I'm from Beijing, and people would laugh. But people thought he spoke fluent Chinese. He knew about 10 sentences. But he'd mastered these sentences. Yeah, and he had gotten so good at these sentences, which is great. He's got a talent for articulation, but he had zero depth to his language. And so I would say this year, challenge your evaluation of yourself. If you're in Thailand, I highly, highly, highly recommend going and doing the Jula proficiency test. The Chulalongkorn proficiency test is kind of modeled on the European CEFR models. So the equivalents of A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. I think there's a new level come out too. But Jula levels, they're different levels, but they'll take you through. But it's actually a pretty good thing, and it will really let you know where your Thai's at. Because they'll just keep going until you hit your barrier. And native Thai speakers won't get through everything. And it does it in everything. The Chulalongkorn Thai proficiency test. It's very good. I had to go and do it when I was getting a deal with the Pentagon to work with the JustMag guys here, and so they needed these things. So I got my certification. I got like a good advanced certification through there, which allowed me to teach the U.S. military here. Um, but really put the mirror in front of your face and see where your language is. Um, and speaking of then the military, there's a thing called the DLPT, the Defense Language Proficiency Test. And about 70,000 people go through the language, I think there's a language barrage every year, where basically they test your propensity to learn a language. And it's a made up language, but it's this, and then from that, if you're with whatever force, they will see which language you probably suit. And they've got different levels of language. About 70,000 people go through this thing. And I would get a lot of the military coming over here, and some people got a level 3. Now that's the top level. They're fully professionally functional in the language. They get here and they can't speak shit. Some people are very good, but you get these guys that were there because they passed all the exams. But you got to understand over there where they're learning, some of these teachers, they've been in the US ever since the 60s and 70s. The language has changed. They teach them this stuff. And so when they hit the ground here, they go out on their own. You could smell Washington on them, a mile away. And it's all about like losing that when you're on the streets. And I saw it. I had some incidents when we were out there with actually generals here talking to them. And some of the generals didn't want to talk to them, which got quite sensitive because, they were there and then we went to one thing and they ended up, we were talking speaking to me, and they said, "Oh, you just explain the jokes to them." And the next day, I got blasted by some of these guys that had flown in from Washington but for the first time, and I'll tell you this, and last night at this thing with the Thai teachers, all the Thai teachers there were unanimous, and the native Thai speakers. You mightn't want to hear this, but this is the reality. You know how in Europe and the West say it doesn't matter how you speak the language, it's just about being able to communicate and, don't worry about how you sound or whatever. It's not like that in Asia. In Thai, in Vietnamese, in Chinese, the way you sound, Thais will get tired if they're straining to hear what you say to the point they say, let's just speak in English. Or they'll just turn off. And yesterday we actually in Thai with some of them, we had an active conversation and they said, yeah, look, as much as I'd like to help you, let's just switch off. I've walked into 7-Eleven sometimes and I've seen some foreigners trying to practice their Thai with the staff. And there's a whole freaking queue behind them and the people aren't understanding here. And that's another cultural element. You're not being เกรงใจ to see who's around you. And so, and I see Kun Sipat sitting in here, and I hope we have some native Thai speakers. I hope that you can maybe give your input on this later on. But คนไทยถ้าฟังยากก็พูดภาษาอังกฤษดีกว่า If it's too difficult to listen, let's just switch to English. And then that's disheartening for learners. So, how do you overcome that? You want to develop prosody, natural rhythms in speaking. If I am talking to you like this every time I'm talking to you, I won't go past a few sentences. Now, I could just say that my words that are coming out of my mouth are in an Australian accent. I'm still speaking with an Australian accent, but you would get so pissed off listening to even more than a few sentences like that. You say, what the fuck are you doing? That's how it feels. And so you might, okay, I can help a little bit. But if you're going through a whole discussion sounding like that and getting that feeling, that's what it feels like. So get your articulation, your prosody, the natural rhythms in the language. And another thing that I did, I was a Dale Carnegie trainer for many years. And then even with the US military guys, we'd run presentation workshops in Thai with Thais. But what you do, whether it's Toastmasters or Dale Carnegie, when you're giving presentations, you have somebody and you've got practice in front of them before you actually get up on stage. And so you give your 2-minute presentation and they'll give you feedback. And sometimes the feedback's brutal, but you listen to it, you apply it, and you go and you use it and you hone it and you get back here. This room we're sitting in, my wife, she's Thai, but she's used to presenting mainly in English. Now, many people think my wife is an extrovert. She's actually an introvert. And before she would get up on stage, she used to have to present at this thing every year where there would be 1,000 people attending it. She'd have a presentation usually at the end. And so it was there to close the thing off. We'd be sitting in this room. She'd have about 5, 6 people around the table, and she would present from morning until afternoon, a few days leading up to the actual event to get the feedback. And then when she finally got on, maybe it was a short presentation, but at least she'd had that coached and she put into the point that she could actually present as a non-native speaker of English, but bring the house down presenting in English. So I highly recommend having somebody to be your mirror that you trust, but actually knows how to coach you. That's why Toastmasters is good because they do it. And don't be afraid to do it in the target language. Okay. Yeah, the complacency trap. So people understand me or they put เก่งมาก, you speak so well. And then one last thing before we get into the practical side of this, and this is good timing. I planned about half an hour of my spiel and then getting practical. Um, you need to be intimately and painfully aware of what's going on in your body. And I'll give you an example. We'll say with the US guys or with Australians, Lee, you're an Aussie. Who have we got? Do we have there's Shane there. But there are a few people here that I've worked with, but I've gotten to the point where if I kind of know where you're from, what your mother tongue is and what dialect, especially say English, if you're from the South, if you're from the Northeast of the United States, if you're from New York, you could well have a more dental D. So do it, do, do. Okay. And you got these glides and these things happening. There are some structural things you can do to actively, one, be aware of it, set triggers inside of yourself to start flashing as soon as your body goes past those boundaries, or if it's not sitting into what you know it should be, and you retrain your muscles. And so what I would do with these, say the military guys, and if anyone who's been through one of my speech analyses, where you send me like 60-second clips or a 90-second clip of you speaking by yourself and then speaking with somebody, and honestly, it takes like 60 seconds worth of speech. This. You work on these as night and day transformation on your articulation. But you need to be aware of what's going on in your mouth with your mother tongue or the languages you already know with how you're articulating, and then how it needs to go into the target language. Very, very few Thais understand not only what Thai articulation is actually doing, but what the native mouth of, say, English speakers or German speakers or Dutch speakers is going on. How on earth are they going to know to articulate this? So again, this I've tried to build it into the system. I'll give you an example. Anthony, you're there. Could I could I get you, because I hear that you've been having great successes, Anthony. I'm hearing praise of you weekly. Can you say for me,ปอปลา?
Blah.
Woo! Can you explain your journey to pop pla, Anthony?
Well, I got Sarah as my teacher, and she's probably, well, no, she is. She's hands down the best Thai teacher I've had because she's breaking down all the bad habits I learned over 15 odd years of trying to learn Thai by myself. And we're not doing grammar or anything like that. We're working on kokai, popla, totao, and how to do it. And I don't know, we're about 5 weeks in, and I'm starting to get, I can hear it now when I talk to other people. I'm actually starting to hear totao instead of totahan. And
Oh my God. Anthony, it brings a tear to my eye hearing that.
I'm even starting to hear kokai instead of go guy. It feels strange to say
Yes.
that now.
Yeah.
But we talked when you did my speech analysis.
Mm.
You said that your brain has to learn how to hear it correctly because you think it's go guy. So that's what you hear.
And then you're visualizing.
And you're visualizing it, so that's what you hear. And intellectually, I understood what you were saying, but I hadn't experienced it. And now, very slowly, I'm starting to hear kokai instead of go guy.
Yes.
It's hard, but I'm starting to get
the fact that you can even delineate the articulation just now in explaining it is phenomenal, Anthony. I hope you don't mind that I actually shared your analysis with Sarah before you started with
no
her.
problem at all.
And
yeah,
she took that and
she's
used it
been
as a model.
really good for me. I'm because I agree with what you say about being fluent. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
I've been there at one point and the other with Turkish and French and Spanish, although I'm not staying current on them. But I want to be there with Thai. I really do.
And that's a frustrating thing. Some people have experienced huge successes in, say, other languages. And then when they come here, maybe it's a different paradigm shift and it's disheartening. You think, what the heck? I'm supposed to be good at this. And I remember the first time I listened to you because, and okay, another thing I'll just comment on, Anthony. Your speech analysis report that I did for you it's a beautiful specimen because Anthony, for all intents and purposes, was fluent. He could articulate what he wanted to say using the language he already had. It may not have been the way a native Thai speaker would say it, but if I put myself in the Thai teacher's perspective and I'm used to sort of hearing foreigners speak, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not how we would say it. You sound very Falang. If somebody's not accustomed though to hearing that, they would start to ฟังยาก. It'd be difficult to listen to. And then I think Anthony, you were feeling probably disheartened too, that you felt it wasn't really getting or people weren't understanding you.
Even now, but perhaps less so than before. But yes, the whole thing, everything you said about them, even a street vendor breaking into English rather than put up with my tortured Thai, that is very disheartening. But
Yeah.
I'm getting it a little bit less now.
Yeah. So I'm just over the moon, Anthony, that and just hearing you now is phenomenal. But it also, you can't do this alone unless you actually have the skills of articulation and phonology, and you've done that. I've built this into my daughter. She's 6 years old since the day she was born. So I can say a sound to my daughter now, and I could like if I say there, 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 she'll hear all of those as individual sounds. They're not just D. And um, I'll show you something else with my daughter. Well, can you still see the screen up there? Okay, watch this. So my daughter's 6 years old. I think I just downloaded this, but it's a good demonstration. It's not there. Wait, maybe I can share it from the Google Drive. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
There you go.
Can you see it? Okay, so for anybody who's been through Minecraft, for anyone who's been through Minecraft, you would remember my zodiac session. Now, what is Minecraft, by the way? I put Minecraft together for Verso International School back in just before COVID. And it was originally as an ECA, extracurricular activity for kids to give them all the skills they needed to learn language. And then they could pick a language and we'd apply those and build those out. So it wasn't just the skills in the language, but it was how all of the meta skills around learning language, from building frameworks for understanding phonology. We did shadowing, but not just surface level shadowing. Shadowing that I use is in a simultaneous interpreter. So English to English shadowing. You're hearing English and you're telling the same story back in English, but your own language, real time. And these kids are doing, my daughter's doing it now at 6 years old. Another one is the zodiac. For those who haven't been through Minecraft, I'll just tell you now, my daughter learnt this in 15 minutes on 2 motorbike rides back and forth to school. You ready?
Been learning the Chinese zodiac. What is that?
There's numbers 1 to 12.
Neo.
Neo
Okay,
is
which one is it? King Mark. It's number 2.
is the buffalo ox.
What is that? Tell me. What is it?
Hu. Lao Hu is a tiger.
Tiger. What is that one? Do you remember? Yeah. You got the number right. What do you say? Qi, right? Gai. Yeah. Which one? What number is? Show me the animal. What animal have you got? Show me the animal. Okay, so what is it?
It's a rabbit.
Correct. And how do you say it? No, that's the two, is it? Right.
All right. She got the whole zodiac. And this was after about 20 minutes of learning. Now she has them in Cantonese, Mandarin, and Japanese. And all the numbers 1 to 12, like in Cantonese, Mandarin, and Japanese, and can go through them. How did she do that? We built a framework and we put it in. She has phonology to hook into. Not only that, she gets all the tones spot on. If you notice, hu, tu. She's building in the tones automatically. A lot of what you see in my crackinglanguage.com was built for her. She was my little guinea pig that I've been building everything out. But she goes through the entire zodiac and she gets every animal correct. And now, this is about 4 days after this, she's actually got them in multiple languages. but it's because she has structures there. Because of Brno, that we're going to, that they're having the polyglot gathering, and I hope I'll be there. But I've started learning Czech this last week. Now, I've studied Russian before. My Russian speaking isn't great, but I can sit and listen to a Russian presentation, understand a lot of it. I understand the case system in Russian and how they work. And so, because I've got the framework of Slavic languages, and actually, from Russian, I studied Church Slavonic, so I kind of looked back at some of um, the older Slavic, and then also Inter-Slavic, to sort of get this. Now learning Czech is fitting into this framework that's kind of already there. Oh, okay, that's what that shift is. If that were the Cyrillic, that would be that. Okay, I make that link in there. And so I've studied Czech for about 3 days now, but I've already putting the case system together. And then now I'm just learning how it hooks in. But the problem is that most people are learning, and so this is, again, it comes to the thing of learning Asian languages. Who are the people who put most of the Asian learning language programs, so for say Thai, Chinese, Vietnamese, together? Hey, Ross, we'll pull this out. Who developed majority of these courses when you think of Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Burma? Think about it. It's in the West. Who are the people who built these things up? Who from the British are the
missionaries.
missionaries? So proselytizing. Who else? Military or government people? Now I'll split military and government up. Government may be there for diplomatic reasons, and so but military in wartime. So Vietnam, and they come in, people had to hit the ground. Now you put yourself in this hat of people who have put these courses together. I know people here, you may have seen the FSI, Foreign Service Institute courses from over the years. Many of them are open there for people to see. And some of the material, yeah, it's great. Back in early 2000s, I went to the FSI and actually ran a couple of classes there with the Thai groups over there. It was amazing. And they have all of these like really abstract dialects and everything. They've got their own printing press in there. It's phenomenal. But the majority of the people, and sorry, academics, okay? And so academics who come in, or missionaries, or military, they will come in from a Western language speaking base. They come, say, to Vietnam. Holy crap, this language has tones. Oh. And they will struggle. Or this language has a differentiation between pa and pa. This language has these vowels like hong, hong, but it's spelled Khong. Why is it hong? What's going on in there? And they bash their head against the wall. They're almost like the canary in the coal mine for learning the language and how hard. And then all of their luggage, learning and these aha moments, or maybe they didn't even put two and two together. And so they've got this disjointed aha moment where they think they made it. I see this with a lot of foreigners thinking they've made really beautiful templates for learning the Thai tones. And I'm looking at it and I want to cry. And then that gets baked in because maybe they're commissioned by the government or the Church of Latter-day Saints or whatever to build their courses out. And their luggage gets baked into the solution. And believe it or not, and again, coming back for those who haven't seen it, for the languages of Asia and the languages of everywhere, it comes back to this. We were going through it yesterday, Ross. You can still see the screen, right? Okay. So just wait for this to load up. This front interface is all going to change soon to just jump straight into scare people off with so many tools.
This is not shared yet.
Oh, it's not shared. Oh, sorry. You're not seeing that? Okay. All right. So actually, if I shrink this, you should be able to see because of my beautiful scaling in CSS. There you go. I animated every little bit of this. So you can see here, it's a map of the mouth. We got the back of the throat. Ga. And my wife's voice makes me jump every time. Jawdan is from the palate. So these are the palatal. Now, back in the days of the Indian, 3,000 years ago, you're hearing the Indians talking like this. What do you think you're doing? Ta ta da da da. These are called retroflex cerebral. So if I get the Devanagari script, you see a purple row show up here. So these are cerebral. So you see the tongue rolling up on the roof of the mouth. Can you try and do that? Now, look at my tongue there. And roll it. Now say ta. The back of your tongue is hitting the roof of your mouth. Ta. Ta. Your tongue's rolling around. Ta. 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 Do this thing for me, will you? I'm allowed to be doing this because I'm half Indian. So this purple row, da 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 da. So this is basically, now you see my throat there. Everybody do this. Now, can you feel the throat close when you go when you get to that bit? That's this bit. That's your glottis. Okay. I hope by the end of this, everyone will be glottally aware. So go. Okay. Now say water. You want a glass of water? Know what I mean? Water. Okay. Water. That's that.
That's what that is?
That's this stop here. Now there are different stops you can have. I can have a water, or you can have a stop here. So watch this. What is happening? Or you can have a stop here. So say ga. So what you're doing, your tongue's closing this bit off, and the water is closing here off. So say ga. This is what Anthony was just doing now. This was open. So if you look at this one, everyone say with me, caw, courage, caw. You can see the air puffing out, but this is caw, caw. And this again is caw. Now, okay, this is go in it. Let me switch back to Thai. Where's my eyesight is, Thai should be up top.
It's already highlighted in Thai.
Oh, it is in Thai. No, that's what's going on there. Thai. There we go. Okay. Okay, so go, caw. Now these have lost the voicing. These used to be g, but they've lost it. So there is no G in Thai. First of all, there's no g. That's what Anthony was talking about. The awesome thing Anthony just showed, and if you look at my speech analysis that I did for Anthony, one day if Anthony gives permission, I'll come back and show it. Oh, somebody's jumping in. Anthony, would you mind if I showed the speech analysis?
Not at all. Go ahead.
Everything's on the fritz today. Let me just check, Anthony. I'll just download your speech analysis because I think it's going to be very useful for people to see. Because I've actually got voice prints of Anthony. Here we go. Speech analysis. And I'll download it. Download. Yeah. And I'll bring it up onto the screen for you. Let me get here. And my downloads. You sure this is okay, Anthony? It's pretty impressive. So actually, I'll have to bring it up here. I'll just drag this up.
I was going to say it's pretty depressing, but okay.
So what Anthony did is he gave me, I think, about 90-second clip, and I went through every bit. I analyzed it and showed him from, now again, these are all from the thing. So the cup, pom chu. So these are the vowels and everything, and then basically this is one sentence, a page of breakdown of this these letters here. But have a look at this at Anthony. So I took voice prints of him. ผมเป็นคนอาร์เจนติเนียน Okay. So you can see clearly here the spectrograph image. Your P for pom, aspirated, and P for popla, unaspirated, are identical. Look at that. So see this here, that's the air puffing. Okay. With no aspirate. And now this is me. You can't see the puff here. And so I tried to show to contrast it out. But just in seeing that, I think visualizing and then feeling it, these are the things you need to do to realize this. And Anthony's now being, can you say the difference now, Anthony? Say ผมเป็น
ผมเป็น
You hear that? Perfect. ผมเป็น
ผมเป็น
Before it was ผมเป็น
ผมเป็น
But this ผมเป็น You can see this here. If you want one of these, by the way, you can go into jacademy.com and just grab it. I've got one where I either do one or I'll do three over whatever amount of time, and we just work, because you actually don't need constant lessons. You take this to your teacher or you work on it yourself, you achieve it, and you go to the next milestone, because there's only so much you can chew. This is only from a few sentences, the breakdown that we got. And again, this whole issue of aspiration, you're seeing it out there. So if you've got someone like Sarah who can take this and actually then work with you on this, is gold. This is like the doctor's script, and you just need somebody to be able to work with you on it. ขอบคุณครับ Why is this happening? But this is Anthony's initial one. But honestly, you could spend 6 months on this. Or you could spend a week on it, depending what you want to do and going through it. But if you work just on that and just listening to you changing those few things, Anthony, you've become so much more intelligible. Not intelligent, you're already intelligent, but intelligible. So that's awesome. And thank you for letting share that. But that's the difference between this. Listen to ปอ
ปอปลา
and พอ
พอพาน
Can you hear the puffing here? Paw versus ball. Okay. This is just Thai. Same thing applies to Chinese. Same thing applies to Vietnamese, to even Spanish. Can you say the word this there?
There's the
Right? Let me get a microphone for everybody. You should be able to say it into this. Is that working? Is it on? It should have come on automatically. Let me see. There you go. Okay. So Rossi is a native Spanish speaker. Can you say this thing?
Desde.
Okay. Can you just say the D sound?
The first one.
Yeah.
De.
Ah,
De.
nah, this is awesome. Okay. Say it again.
De.
Okay. Now, can you say that? Now, listen to what happened there. Say that again.
De.
Okay. You're hearing your D and you're seeing a D.
Yeah.
Your D is coming back to your wiring of a D, which if I go to a D here, it's actually probably closer in the place of a Thai
ต่อ
dodek.
เต่า
Oh, sorry, dodek. Right? Now, dodek
Dodek.
is more where an N comes from in English, right? D. Except in English, listen to the tip. D. Can you hear the ticking? D. Let me tell you the Thai D. D. Same position, but my tongue's rolled almost like that, hitting it, and it's got a glottal stop. It's actually in the N with a glottal stop. Like saying, no, mummy, no, da, no, D. There's no t, yeah, D. That's better. Now that you're listening to that, and you know where your D is happening in your English, This light's really getting on me. Can you say your this day again and see if you can model on what she's doing, or at least explain what she's doing?
De.
Where look at where is her tongue?
De.
Yes.
De.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. It's not on the top of my.
Yeah, now see if you can do it.
Before it's D,
Yeah.
and now it's D.
Now and even more of a de because it's got a bit of voicing as well. Say it again. De.
D.
Yeah, it's closer.
Before it's D.
Yeah.
D.
Now, for say a gringo speaking Spanish, maybe it's intelligible, but you bring it across to this part of the world and you go to Vietnam, people are not going to understand it. And so if you do d, so if you say di ma, di, Thais will hear this
D
on the top and think that it's a zhan because the only sound that comes from there that has a over the top is
จอจาน
zhan because D is dodek. Listen to dodek.
ดอเด็ก ดอเด็ก ดอเด็ก
Dodek. Dodek. Yes, that's better. That's better than you say. Dodek. You mightn't think it's a big thing. I can tell you what Anthony has been able to do with just these sounds and in what he's doing, and there's still more to go. But that was a huge milestone that I think he's hit. It's going to change your delivery. The language is getting into your muscles. The way people are going to understand you. Thais will say, "Put chat." You speak so clearly. And they're going to want to listen to you. And may I please dispel the myth of, oh, they just don't want to speak to me in Thai because I don't look Thai. This is bullshit. Have a look at this. I don't know if you've seen my clip from yesterday. Let me pull it up for you. My clip that I put out, but this is kid Ilan that lived here in Soy 16. I ran into him about 13 years ago. And then he just messaged me. He's come back from the US. And we recorded a clip the day before yesterday. He's going to come on, but let me just play this for you. I think this is it. I'll just bring it up here. I'll just play you a little bit, but I want you to notice a few things. And then you can go in yourself, look at the comments in YouTube. What's happening? Where is it? Here. Okay, let me pull this up for you. Look at this.
ระวัง
Can you not see?
There it is.
Okay.
กับสาระความแตกต่างแบบที่มากที่สุดที่คิดถึงคือสังคมครับสังคมน่าสนใจสวัสดีครับ
Let me just, this is him when he's a kid.
ว้าลี่ค่ะได้
He also speaks Chinese. And this is him later.
พอลงรถไฟตรงไอ้เช่น
Shut up.
ไอส่วนมากจะมีแบบสุภาพมากกว่า แล้วก็จะพูดยังไงมีสังคมที่แบบ respect elder มากกว่า
ข่าวรบ
พูดยังใช่ไหมแล้วที่อเมริกาทุกคนเขาจะย้ายออกบ้านบ่อย แล้วครอบครัวมันจะแยกกันบ่อย
Okay.
มันไม่ค่อยมีสังคมที่แบบรักกันแล้วก็
Look at the way Ilan, look at his face. If you go down in the comments in YouTube, now hundreds of comments now since I've had about over 10,000 views since yesterday afternoon. All the Thais are just saying he's Thai.
Like everybody that.
He's Thai.
Yeah.
You look at him, he was homeschooled, but all his friends were Thai. His dad was an American lawyer here. And he was here from 4 years old until 16. And you listen to him, nobody speaks to him in English. He goes to 7-Eleven, he'll go anywhere, he'll open his mouth and they speak to him in Thai. So, and if you go, if like I'll go into 7-Eleven, nobody will speak to me in English. Now, there are a few things you can do too. I talk in some of the Minecraft classes, like there are little tells. So you go in there before they even put their head up. You could say, ไม่ต้องใส่ถุง You don't need to put it in a plastic bag. But the fact you've just said ไม่ต้องใส่ถุง and you say it like that, they don't even think, and so they'll naturally respond to you in Thai. You get under the radar, and then you're locked in. If you give any of these signals, ดีมาก สวัสดีครับ ครับ that's basically, okay, alien, and then this is going to be hard to understand. Let's just nip it in the bud and speak English. So the whole concept of, because of the way I look, they're not going to, maybe 1 in 100 times, it might be that. Maybe if you get out of Bangkok, but honestly, like Ilan traveled all over Thailand, everything, and they speak to him as a Thai. And you look through the comment section, and you've got Thais scratching their heads and everything. As I never thought I'd see the day where, you know, this is just normal content with people who look like this speaking in Thai. But case in point, if you see Asian looking people speaking flawless English, you think, oh, you speak English so well. Yeah. But it's these little tells. In saying that, have you ever seen this YouTube channel? I'll send you the links later, but there's this YouTube channel. He's a Vietnamese lawyer. Well, he's an American lawyer. He says he grew up and he's only lived in Vietnam for 11 years, but he's Vietnamese. But you listen to his English, you know he's Vietnamese.
That's like my Viet friends in the States.
And you just hear his English. He's perfectly fluent in English. He's got all of the idioms and everything, but there's a thing on his English, you know, you're Vietnamese. But he says, I've lived in Vietnam for 11 years now, and I tell you, you're Vietnamese. Because you can just hear it in his language, and that frames who you are. So I would say getting into your language, aim at building structures, building prosody, identifying where you are, and then these whole things, not only and learn to read Thai, not just for the sake of reading Thai, but in reading Thai, you learn this system. This system is the heart of the tone system, and the vowels compass as well maps into this as well. These are called vargas, these things. So if you look at the vowels, and they're this beautiful, beautiful system. I built this out for everyone to use. I'll put these here. It's just beautiful, where you've got this symmetrical system, again, mapped to the back of the throat, the palate, the roof of the mouth, the teeth, and the lips. And then you've got short, long, stretchy, shrinky, or I call it expanding, contracting. So I, a, and o. This is high tongue, low tongue. A, o. High tongue, I, low tongue, e. And then high tongue, I, that's short, long. Expanding, I, because my mouth's expanding, I, contracting, I, which turns to au in modern Thai, or down here. So au. And then ow, expanding, contracting. Bang, you got all the vowels mapped to the mouth. For people who learn and try and do it through romanization, you are basically attaching a stone to your neck. Because this system it fits not only the Thai language, it fits all languages of Asia like a glove. If you come back to this compass here, Chinese dictionaries in the Qianyun system for 1,000 years were written in using the Sanskrit notation that Thai has written. So if you've ever learned Chinese and you've learned per, mer, fer, de, turner, the pinyin, it's from here. Per, mer, fer, de, that's the Thai alphabet upside down. Okay, Korean is the same. Korean is the same system. Bang. Based on the Pakspa script, which was from Sanskrit, to write Mongolian. And they've got the same principles. So learn the script in Thai, you'll get it. So I would commit to learning the script, learning to read and write. That will help you get your articulation. And the foreignness of the script too will help twig that this is not the sound in your mother tongue. Dodek is not a D. Anthony's finally got it that kokai is not a G. Every time I heard Anthony speaking, I could hear the G flashing in his head. Even though I know Anthony can read Thai, but I can hear that that has been hardwired into a G, which was working detrimental to him. So you got these. In this system I built as well, I've got other tools like this, so you can actually then like do exercises with your writing. Again, this is all free. You can just jump in and use all of these tools for free. If I hit on this one here, you can open this and do it along with us. Come on, there we go. So watch this. So I have 300 Thai and Chinese dialects in here, but we're just using standard Thai. Watch this. And so again, the high class, middle class, low class. So the high class were this second column, middle class were the stop throat ones, low class were all the traditionally voiced. That's what high, middle, and low were. So watch this. Go, gai, go, ga, mai ek, ga. You can do all your tone drills there. Go, gi, gi. And you get the tone curve. So you can practice doing your, train your voice to these tone curves and do it. What would gi sound like in Isan? You can even do that. So if you want to switch this to Northeastern or Isan, there you go. So that would be gi instead of gi in Isan.
Explain the rationale behind the three tones again. You said
the three classes? Yeah, sure. Okay. No, not three. Okay, this is an important thing, not just with Thai, but actually all tonal languages of Asia.
Three classes.
Three classes. Okay. I can do that. So you see, everyone say this with me. Ka. Okay, and sorry if you're not Australian, but try and say the vowel like an Aussie or a Bostoner. Ka. Ka. So, push it. Ka. I can't hear air puffing. Really exaggerate puffing of air like you can see coming out there. So it's this one here.
Call kwai.
Exaggerate the air. Put a, yes. Yes. Yeah, because your Spanish K is different, right? Spanish C. Could you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. So say it again for me. Ka. Beautiful. Ka. Now, say this for me.
กอไก่
Ka. Now watch this. Everybody exaggerate the puffing of air. Ka. Even more air. Ka. Right? Now, watch this. Ga. Ga. G, g, with a G. G. Ga. Ga. Listen to the difference. Ha. Ha. Ka. Ga. Right? Let me ask you, is the portion after that initial consonant the same in each word?
First two and the second two, yes.
Listen. Ka. 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 Ga. Watch what happens if I take the initial portion of that off. So, ka, ah, ka, ah, 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 ah. What happens to the pitch? When I put When I open my throat and I puff the air, by nature, my throat is dropping down. And because the voice box is
Oh
then
God.
putting pressure on it,
Oh God.
is lower. Ah, to the foreigner, oh, they're different pitches. But to the native tonal language speaker, the Thai, the word tone has nothing to do with pitch. วันนี้ยก声调 Dong, it means voice index. Your voice index has pressure on it in this one because these were aspirated. Now listen, what happened if these ones are the ones that we know that have the voice puffing? Listen to the tone.
ขอไข่
Oh, starts low, and then when you hear the Thai people, they talk like this because there's a natural action from southern China. So you want the chopstick and the sweet and sour pork to cut the throat off at the end of each syllable at the end. But if you're aspirating and lowering your voice, what happens when my voice comes and cuts off at the end of a syllable? Ka, ka, rising tone. What is the high class tone?
ขอไข่
It's a rising tone. So, and I can show you in parallel then what happens if I open this up. And so we have, instead of gõ gai, which you can see is here, I'm in Isan. Oh no, I'm in normal Thai.
But they were in the word motorcycle. What is that?
Yeah. So here, watch this. Ga, ga, ga. But watch what if I put this. Ka, ka, courage. So these cluey Chinese and Thai linguists thought, if the voice is stopped, the rest of the syllable does different shit. I can imagine the conversation went like that.
It sounded exactly.
Yeah. Oh. And then if the voice has this aspiration over, the voice does other shit. If the voice is voiced, now watch this. Ga, ga. This voicing in the beginning, normally many languages would push the voice with ga, ga. So we get ha, ga, 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 ha, changes the tone and the nature of the syllable. So what happened was high class became all these ones that had aspiration. Again, I built this in so you can visualize this. Middle class were all the ones with a stop throat. Low class were all the traditionally voiced ones. Now what happened, you got to remember, this was in the 1200s. Sukhothai, they had a totally different version of Thai. It just happened that in Sukhothai, anything said spelt with these in the beginning tended to be in a higher register of the voice. And if you go down to southern Thailand, that's actually the model. So the high class tends to be around the high part of the voice. Okay, things change over time in geography. There's some really weird things. That's 1200 AD Sukhothai. Thai is very similar to southern Thai, which some people say maybe because the military went down there from there and that stayed. But whatever it is, in the south, the high class is higher, is in a high register. The middle class, then, just think of that as stopped throat. And so anything with these stop throat, we'll call them middle class because for the Sukhothai people, these tended to be in the middle range of the voice. And for low class, or the traditionally voiced, because in Sukhothai, they still had some of these voicings, where it's lost the voicing now. It's not g anymore. It's kho kwai. But in Chiang Mai, it's not kho, it's go kwai. So it actually sounds like go kai, but said like kho kwai. But the tone rules still remain. Some lost the aspiration, some lost the voicing. Right? It's just the way, but the footprint, the shadow of the original tone stayed. And so the ones that were traditionally voiced, the Sukhothai people, so you imagine this, they get down to Ayutthaya later on, hundreds of years later, and said, look, we're the Sukhothai scholars, we came up with this shit. So I know you don't say it in a high register, ka, we say ka, but for the sake of us giving it a label, let's just call the ones that we pronounce in the high register, the high class. They're these aspirated ones here. Let's call the ones that are said in our middle register. I know you guys aren't in the middle register and they've all been jacked up, but we'll just call them middle class. And all the rest we'll just call low class. And at least we've got labels for them now. We're good. We're good. You know the letters. We know the same letters. And that's what happened. And so what happened then, let me go back here. Watch this. And so that's Central Thai, high class, middle class, low class. Now, May Ek is like an anvil. It's putting pressure. What May Ek literally meant was, let's make this put pressure from the beginning to the end. Because everyone say this with me. Ma. Ma. Can you hear my voice naturally decaying at the end? Ma. It's just a normal voice. What May Ek was stiff voice. So what it meant is, I want you to apply pressure from the beginning to the end. So watch this. Ma. Think of it like a sausage chopping it off at both ends. It's got not this natural decay. That's what May Ek was. So watch what happens just at least in this ka, ka, right? But if I put a May Ek on it, which is this anvil, ka, applying pressure. Stiff voice. And then we got creaky voice, which was meito, which was originally this glottal stop in Chinese. And so that went to, let's ramp it down at the end. So say this with me, ma. Squeeze the end. Squeeze the crap out of your voice box. Ma. At the end. Ma. Think of that as the original function of meito. So we've got no tone marker means normal voice, relaxed. Tone May Ek, so this number one tone marker means stiff voice. Put pressure on it. And Meito was actually originally a glottal stop at the end, but let's just say ramp down on the voice for the sake of exaggerating. That's what tone markers are. They're just actions applied to your voice box. And that's exactly what they are in Chinese. So if I show here, and you look at the Chinese system, it's exactly the same. Ping, shang, chu, ru. These are the tone systems of Chinese as well. Same tone system of Vietnamese. Same tone system of Burmese. They actually all run on these principles. So now this is why you've got ka low class, which was originally voiced with May Ek, becomes ka. So it just happened that in Bangkok, that's that. But watch what happens if I put this to Southern Thai. Spelling never changes, but look at Southern Thai. High class is actually in a high register. Middle class is in a middle register. Low class is in a low register. And so the word ka in Bangkok is pronounced ka in Phuket. Yeah, I've got 300 dialects there for you to play with. So if you know how something is spelt in Thai, you can come and apply this and map straight to the dialect. Okay, so the other cool thing is once you learn to spell, you can do it across all, not only Thai dialects, but you can even do it, and I built this out too, watch this. Oh, it's actually this one, the Getty map. Where is it? This one. Getty. So these are Getty boxes that you see down here, but watch this. So if I write the word elephant in Thai, chang. Now there are actually chang. Let me turn this to just brown. So this is it. What language? What? I can. What dialect am I in?
What dialect?
It might be pulling something from the thing. Oh no, that's right. Yeah. That's right, because I spelled it with the wrong letter. Chang. There. So chang is elephant. Same thing happens if I write this now and I can actually inject this with phonetics, but I'll put this in Chinese now. Xiang. That's elephant in Chinese. Detects Chinese. Wow, look at that. What a beautiful piece of software. Xiang. And I can actually get phonetics in there. Zhong, so that's Cantonese. Zhong. But if I put this to Cantonese tones then, Cantonese. So the same word, it's fitted into the box, but in Cantonese is pronounced zhong, but it's the same word, chang. So across Chinese, Vietnamese, they actually fit into these boxes. Many of them map one to one if you know the cognate words, and you can speak instant Vietnamese, Chinese if you know the spelling in Thai. It's mind-blowing. Or you just know the shift, or even Cantonese Mandarin. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the Thai words actually, there's ones that they claim that they accept they're Chinese, but there's other ones going back in history because there's commingling and all of this stuff going on. But a lot of so I've actually got Middle Chinese here. This is the old Chinese from Middle Chinese from like 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. Jiang, 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 Thai is chang, jiang. So I built this out because I speak these languages, I know them, and I can see how they all link together. But these missionaries just saw what was straight in front of them, so they made these convoluted systems to have to try and explain it away and teach their own people.
Yeah, the interconnectedness that you've been demonstrating on all of your content online is the most fascinating part to me.
But once you get this framework, so that's what I've done with my daughter by default. So she doesn't even think about it, but okay.
It's so amazing.
And so the other thing that I'd encourage you to do with this, so you can use all of these tools. There's a ton of tools, and I'm going to be taking off because people just seeing the tools there, they tell me it scares the crap out of them. So I'll try and find a way you can have a power user versus just a person who's wanting to come in. But if you have your API keys set up, and I come into Learning Arena, the really cool thing is, now I've built hundreds of AI agents. It's ingested all of my books, my YouTube clips, and everything I've ever done. And then I've coded thousands of lines per agent to hit on specific linguistic issues within each language. So for Central Thai, for Isan Thai. And so just let this load up. Wonder why it's... Come on, baby. Here it comes. Okay, so I'll start a new session. Let me just open this up here. So Learning Arena here, if you've got your AI key in, it'll show it there. You put your AI keys in your profile. So I've got them there. And honestly, you only need 3.5. If it needs something more, I'll bump it up in the backend code. But this is how I keep it so cheap for you. Because I only need a very thin sliver of AI to do it. And this is your toolbox. So if you're learning in this section, you can actually add tools. So you want to see your compass on the side. I can just say compass. Well, not in Chinese. Compass. And you can, where's a compass standard? I can pull up a compass here. And it should load in here. There, you got a compass. And if I want to say, even if I wanted to add Burmese to that, I can just come in here and type Burmese too. And it should load Burmese in there as well. So I can actually compare them. But watch this now. So you can come in here and first say, how do I learn the Thai tones? So if you just do that, it's just doing a general search on all of my stuff, my courses and knowledge in general. And then I've got a me agent assembling it into, here are some lessons you can do from my courses. Here are excerpts from my book. These are videos you can watch on that. But then if I say, I've got these slash commands, lesson from content, and I want to do Thai. Now you've got central, Isan, northern, and southern. But you can say, write me a dialogue of a 30-year-old guy speaking with a 60-year-old tea seller on the side of the road in Bangkok buying cha yen zero sweet. So what this is doing, it knows everything. So it knows what languages I speak. It knows my level because it's all in my profile. And every time I do something, it updates my profile of learning. It's using that in the context as well. And then it's building those out. It's looking the lessons from all of my books and everything. And it's looking at the context of who you want to be in this. And I've got things to make sure that it puts it in the correct person so I've got like a 60-year-old lady, so it's making sure that that language is in there. And then I built it, and you'll see in a minute. Now, if you were learning with a teacher, I would put a lesson like this together, and you can take this lesson to your teacher and have your teacher go through it with you. Because this will give you no bullshit Thai, not textbook Thai.
Yeah, the
It's taking a bit because it's actually doing a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes. It's calling AI, it's building, it's running algorithms. Bang, there's your dialogue. Now, if you want to get full screen mode, by the way, you can just click here, and I'll just zoom it up. Actually, I won't go full screen. I'll zoom up because it will probably be easier to see there. Exit full screen, and let me just zoom in here. Watch this. Okay, so here's the dialogue. Now, what I've done here, now if you've got your Google keys in as well, you can hear the voices. You can hear it at slower speed if you want and play each sentence.
สวัสดีครับลุงขอชามะนาวเย็นแก้วหนึ่งครับแต่ขอแบบไม่หวานเลยนะครับ
Okay, so Chamanao got a little bit wrong, gave the wrong T. That's okay. You got the whole dialogue here. You can speed it up. You can actually choose female or male voice. And I've got another one. You can choose any of the Google voices. But from there, you've got lessons then, particles that they've used. And then you can say, oh, let me see a tone chart. You can click and check your tone chart, and it will drop a tone chart in for you. It should drop it in straight away. I don't know why it's waiting. Supposing you want to keep this dialogue for later on, add to my toolbox, and you'll see it's added over here. So you can be learning, and all of this gets saved with your lessons. And all of this is free. There's the tone boxes, so you can go practice your tones. You say, oh, give me that dialogue in flashcards that I can drill. And so there's your flashcards. And again, you can show me the answer. There you go.
So for this, you need to bring in your
Own AI key. But you won't spend more than $1 a month. Yeah, so you just go to, so if you go to OpenAI, just Google, I'll show you how to do it now.
I have a GPT.
So if you go to OpenAI,
you actually have to go to the
Open
site
API keys.
instead of GPT.
Yeah.
So go to?
To the OpenAI site instead of GPT.
Yeah. And you just hit OpenAI API key, and it'll jump in there for you. And you just go to, oh shit, that was the wrong one.
So if I'm
This first one.
already, I should be able to get a key.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. As long as you got an account, you can get a key.
And then you will be charged by how much you use that.
So I think the catch is you need to buy minimum of $5 or $6, but that lasts forever. Yeah. And so anyway, you log in there. I don't want to show you my credentials.
Credit card in there, so if you.
Yeah, and you can put limits on it too. You put,
Down downsizing some of my AI use.
Yeah. So the whole thing is I didn't want big text. So you go to API keys, you can see all these keys here. You say create new key, bang, give it a name. You grab the key from there, just cut and paste. And then when you get to my site, not my weight, you come up here to learner profile. Let's user dashboard, sorry. User dashboard and API keys. I've got just telling you why. But honestly, eventually I want to get, if I get an investor or I get Google or someone, I know getting API keys is like rocket science for some people, and your general learner doesn't want to get API keys. So if I can get Google or someone to sponsor so I don't get a $50,000 bill at the end of the month and protects me, then I'll just have general packages like $10 and you can get whatever. But I don't want to ever take the BYO key model away. Add API key. So choose AI. If you've got a Google Cloud key, and you can just do a similar thing with Google Cloud, you just have to turn voices on in it. But you choose AI, OpenAI. I've got the other ones in there, but right now, just use OpenAI. I need to wire it up properly for Claude and those. And once you give it a name, paste your API key in here, save key, and it will show up down here. And then when you're in then your dashboard, I'll show you, use the dashboard.
Definitely would not go for a Gemini key, because that one you cannot cut the expense.
Right, yeah, Gemini will just keep charging. But I'll tell you why I use, I'll tell you why I use OpenAI for this too. The newer LLMs, they don't let you change the temperature or change this down, and so they just charge you at max. The AI that I need for this, I cut GPT-5 out of this because it tries to get too smart and think what you need, but it wastes all of these tokens. So I max it on 4 here and it's perfect. Okay, and so what happens is, where are we? If I go to...
So you kept it in the OpenAI site, not here.
Yeah, you can't, because mine just uses it. So if I go back...
You choose whether you want to cut it or not, but if you do not know how much you are going to be using, really, because when you pick your key anywhere, you really don't know whether it's going to go in a second or last for years. So it's helpful to...
And so all these sessions, by the way, I just did is all saved. And here, say you've got multiple keys, you can just choose a key from here. Which one you want, and it will use that. There's no key. I've built a bunch of functions in here. If you don't have API keys, you might have limited functionality. Like you say, give me a tone chart or something like that that doesn't use AI. So I've had some no AI fallback things for certain tools, but you get your best experience using AI. The only other thing you will need a key for is your Google keys for voices. And so if you come down here to this tone auto here, text to speech. So it's, if you do /TTS, I have every single language in here. So if I write in Thai or in Chinese, 你好,我今天要学什么? What do I want to learn today?
What's so cool about opinion?
今天要学,
And Thai doesn't have that.
There's not one-to-one matching. There is not a...
Okay.
Transliteration.
So watch this. I've done this in Chinese. Notice it's auto-detected in Chinese. Wonderful coding. And I can just choose from here Chinese. And let me just zoom in here. And see, these are all the Google voices. So I can actually hear it in Cantonese or in Mandarin, but you can get a male voice because so many things are in female voices if you're learning Asian languages for some reason. So here you can actually choose a high-level premium male voice. So it's female, female, male. Let's listen to that and speak. 你好,我今天要学什么?
你好,我今天要学什么?
Or you can choose Cantonese. So if I choose a male Cantonese, now it's going to be incorrect Cantonese because it's all 今日要學乜嘢 if it were in Cantonese, but I can do that and Bang.
你好，我今天要學什麼？
These are actually pretty good voices. The other thing that I've done for you, if you have a look on the actual thing, because I also don't want learners wasting their bandwidth and calls to APIs. So what I did also, I've done a whole caching system. So it knows if you've changed voice, otherwise it's just going to use stuff that I've kept in memory. And so you'll be able to just keep on clicking and clicking and clicking and not reusing your tokens or having to call from the internet. So I've tried to do everything I could to make it as cheap as possible. But this does every language. So it will do Thai as well. And you've got all these really good Thai voices. I'll just show you the quality of the Thai voices. I'll get my Thai keyboard. Where's Thai here? And actually, if you're on a Mac, I don't know if you know this, if you hit the world key 3 times, twice. Oh, Claude came up, did it? It's taken over my thing. Okay, I'll just type.
What happens if you click 3 times?
It should go on to text to speech. But watch what I've done. Okay.
Control twice.
Oh, there it is. Watch it.
Oh, speech to text.
วันนี้อยากจะเรียนอะไรกันดี See all these lines here, the tone curves? This is not AI doing it, it's my coding.
Now, are those the correct tone curves?
Correct.
So even if I say it wrong, it'll come up with the correct one?
Yes. And not only have I done that, if you've got your AI keys in, watch this, enrich with AI. Bang, you can change this out here, so shrink it down. There you go. วันนี้อยากจะเรียนอะไรกันดี Okay. วันนี้ you can turn that to any dialect if you want. And if I change, now that will say this in a Hong Kong accent. I don't want that. So I can just come down here and say Thai. And you want a male or female voice? We'll do both. We'll listen to the difference. Speak.
วันนี้อยากจะเรียนอะไรกันดี
But yeah, it's not bad. Okay. Or you could do a female voice. Let's do her.
วันนี้อยากจะเรียนอะไรกันดี
Okay. So coming back to it all, the reason why I've done this, if you have the framework, if you have a grounding in articulation and phonology better than your teacher, or even if you don't have it, if you really do, you may not even need a teacher. But at least if you have a teacher, they don't have to know all of this. All they have to do is follow what the AI gives them, and you know what to extract from them. And you can take that back and give it to the AI, and it will help you even coach you through that. So your teacher ends up becoming a vessel that doesn't actually have to be an expert on what you're actually extracting. They just have to be a native speaker that can work with this kind of stuff, which is where I think learning is going in the future. You won't have teachers who are experts anymore. You have teachers that facilitate learning for people. Maybe the people learning know way more than you, but the person can provide other stuff. So this is the platform that I've built out. I've just used language, but the platform I've built can be used for any subject. Any domain of knowledge you can actually use on here. I hope you can use it. Again, all of this is free. If you want to do any of the courses right now, they'll pull in from J-Academy. So that's a subscription of like $9.99 a month. And the video and my interactive courses and stuff. And I'm moving the courses here. So if you go to learning here, you can see I've already started I actually built an entire, similar to Netflix, into this. So it's got a full LMS that I built that any course content creator can build their own courses as well. And later they'll be able to charge through my system if they want. So they can use the tools for free, but like here, I've got my Cracking Thai fundamentals being ported into this. But later on, your subscription will carry over here rather than just in J Academy. But this is the cracking Thai fundamentals. And rather than just having videos or whatever, you can actually interact with these tools as part of the lesson. So here, preparing your mind, I'll click on it and it presents it in this thing. And you can actually access this, the courses, within your AI session. So if I'm in my AI session here, I can just say course. And it will actually call up any of the courses I have access to within my AI session. And so you can actually do structured learning during your AI-driven learning as well. So say you're doing actually one of my courses and you think, oh, that's interesting, and you ask something about that, it will infuse the structured learning with then AI. So you get the best of both worlds. And then any of these, if you say you get a YouTube video that you want to add as well, you can add that. So say I get, what's that YouTube video of Ellen and I, just as an example. So if I grab the URL, and by the way, all of the videos here I've made it because creators are scared that they're going to get ripped off. They don't want to just put on YouTube. So I built a whole system like Netflix that strips it, encodes it, end-to-end encryption. And so it's super fast streaming, but you can't download the videos because one video is in 10,000 pieces. So you don't have to be afraid of that. But you can actually come here and I could say,
I'll show as more Republicans start to fold.
what's that?
On you.
What's that?
I want to talk about some very simple.
Watch this. You can either say video, and so I do here video, because just remember, everything you see here will start, that goes into memory as part of your learning experience. So I can say add video. You can add images as well. I'll put my YouTube clip here. And this is me and speaking Thai. Submit. So that's actually gone back. So this you don't need AI for, and bang, I got my video and I can watch it in the stream. Or if I want to add it to my toolbox, I could just say add to toolbox and it'll jump over here. And so these are all my tools. So I think this is the future of learning. It's probably going to be honed and honed and honed, but this is where it's going. This is just like your toolbox, like you've got your resources, books, or anything you want, you can put it on the side. And this is your active learning session here. And any of the tools that you saw before, you can actually pull into your toolbox. And those tools can be infused with AI and injected into lessons. So you can actually say, show me using this tool how this is, and it can actually use any of the tools and inject. It knows the shape of the data and inject it into those tools in your lesson flow. So it's pretty cool. And then that is all stored about your learning, and that will be used as your profile as you continue to learn.
It's amazing. It's not behind a paywall. Like, you totally did not do the tech bro thing.
No, I don't, because honestly, if I have my own courses up there, or say, okay, to charge for AI and stuff, I'll need to charge a subscription. And courses, okay, that's your IP. But I want to make I want to show that you don't need to actually gouge people on just the base tech.
Really refreshing nowadays to see that.
So in saying that, guys, I hope, it's getting up to 11 o'clock. I hope today has been an inspiration just to say, okay, I got out of bed today. Let's make an active decision to get on top of whatever language it is you're learning. If you are learning Thai or Chinese or whatever, again, I have no other support other than I've had to bootstrap all this myself. So if you want to join Minecraft or whatever, I think that's $299 for the year. And we try and do it 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. But there's also years worth of content and all of those maps, the Zodiac stuff my daughter did, and shadowing. There's all this content in there in the Minecraft series. So if you want to do that, that helps me as well. And you can come here and we all join together. I need some admins for the Discord because I just drown. If you don't have Kraken Thai fundamentals and stuff, get that. at the least the old Thai courses are there at J Academy. I think that's the unlimited bundle. So that's like a monthly thing. You can get access to that stuff. That'll be brought over, but if you subscribe later, I'll port all of those. I've actually got them already ported in the back end, just waiting for me to flick the switch on this. But later you'll be able to access everything. But right now I'm in the process of moving all the content over, and some of it I need to update it and give it a facelift with the new tools and stuff. But you can use it in the old site at jacademy.com. But that's why these ads are here. I know the ads are annoying, but at least I've got no other way of joining.
It's happening on Chrome and Safari.
You shrink this font. Just go down. You can reduce the font down. Just click the minus button for some browsers there. Did it shrink?
Shrink.
Okay, yeah. I need to just some people's browsers, and I tried to make it fit all browsers and phones, but you get your weird stuff out there. And again, if somebody wants a speech analysis like Anthony had and a plan like that, and you can give your teacher or use yourself, again, that's another thing in J Academy. And again, I don't want to do the huge hard sell or anything because I normally hate that too, but this is the only thing that's funding this bit of it for me. Unless someone wants to introduce investors that actually don't want to give people dopamine hits of stuff that doesn't teach them. And come and invest in the platform, I'm funding everything out of there. So your support is appreciated if you want to do this. But in any case, thank you for coming. I guess we've got 10 minutes questions or anything about Thai, about language, about the system. I'll open up 10 minutes for questions. Anyone? Bueller?
With the YouTube videos, is that being analyzed mostly through like the subtitles?
Yeah, so what I did is I wrote some scripts to pull. Now there's two things. Putting the YouTube video in just like this is just grabbing the YouTube out and inject it. I've built models to inject them into your learning flow. But when it analyzes the actual content of videos, yeah, what I've done is scraped all of the subtitle scripts from my videos, and then I have an ingestion pipeline into a RAG system, which basically chunks all of that data up, and then any prompt that gets put forward, it will use it like a normal LLM does a RAG query against the vector database.
Sweet.
Yeah. And the titles. So yeah, so when it's looking for matching videos, it's looking through both content and titles for similar subjects. And the AI, that's one place where the AI model might make a difference, where it could be intelligently think, yeah, this video is not really going to match, or this will. Some might pull some false matches, but yeah, it still works. Yeah.
I thought about using the Google API to actually analyze the video itself and trying to.
Yeah, it's doing that, but again, it costs.
Oh, it's super. Yeah, the Google.
It costs. All of these things. If I get the investment coming in, the sky's the limit with, and it's all set up to do all of this. I just don't want to get the bill for $50,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I've put the brakes on at least until this is either funding itself, and I can slowly build it out there, or there's some investment dumping in, where at least I know that it's not going to break the system in a month. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, Ed?
Yeah. I thank you for the context again, but I guess the challenge is using this game. Where do we start? And then there's where do we start? Number two is then how do we use the system? Is there, trying to balance that all out in terms of, okay, I'm not a techie. How do I, that's the dilemma. That's the dilemma I'm trying to figure out.
So the place where, this is why I've still got it in sort of this beta state, and I've almost obfuscated some of the stuff because I don't want to scare people away. I've got a UI UX thing where it's going to be coming in. Where you start is, I think for most people in structured learning, you need guidance. So probably start with the courses. So say with Thai, cracking fundamentals course. You go preparing to crack the fundamentals, and as you go through different modules on that, it walks you through things where these tools become relevant, or you can ask questions built on that. But I think eventually, like ultimately, you need some structure to your learning. You just don't go out and think, trying to pull things from the air. This is why I've put the courses in there. And so the way it's going to start is it'll onboard you. It'll say, where are you at? What do you want to do? And then it will suggest a structured path for you to learn from, and walk you through a course. And then it'll be like, choose your own adventure. Do you want to look more into this or go on to the next lesson? Or is there anything in this? And then it can start to infuse this stuff in it. So that's porting over. I have the courses, but I just need the time between my real day job and coding all of this to get it in the system. But I think structured learning has to be the backbone of your learning. So you've at least got something to start guiding you. And then you can start surfing from that on the other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Lee?
Hey, Stuart. Nice to talk to you. Can you give me an idea what's your plan with Minecraft this year? Are you going to do 4 weeks on and off at the Western?
So
do you have a plan?
Yeah, so this year, it will be 4 weeks on and off with more content coming in here. I want to get more active too. I said, if I can get some admins for the Discord server, I want to bring that to life.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. There's a lot of spam again. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I need to bring the Discord server to life. My time is just like crunched, but I need to get some admins and things taking over, so it's not just me holding this out. But my goal is 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off properly, sitting here. And now I've got this stuff, having structured content also going through, redoing a lot of the original content, making it relevant for now. And then also hopefully getting more. But the goal is to build a community. This is why I want to go to Europe and start bringing people in from other like parts of the world as well.
So will that kick off in February, or do you have any?
So we're actually after this week. So I put this one on, but we'll be starting the proper Minecraft one next week from 4 weeks on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you can swing by here too. Are you in town, Lee?
Yeah, I'm in Don Muang. I'll try and get into town. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if there's anyone who want to start to be mods on Discord, let's talk. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? No one. Okay. Thank you everyone for getting to the end. It's been an honor. I hope to see you again. And if you want to join Minecraft, we're back here at this time next week. The Zoom link will be in the Minecraft courses. For the current one, Zoom links, you just click on that. It's a different link to today. And I'll see you next week if you're there. Bye.
ขอบคุณครับ
ขอบคุณครับ